Well, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Very nice to see you all. My name is Michael. I've been passionate about the subject of magic for 40 years. And I've come to appreciate the studies of being a magician has got me present to the fact that there are 3 levels of perception at work. There's the perception of the magician. There's the perception of the audience watching the magician. And inside of that conversation, there's a very magical element that takes place, which I call the creative perception. Now, my perception began in 1974. I'm 10 years old, only child, single-parent family. My mother, she was a real blessing in my life. She supported me every step of the way. And as a result, I really began to connect with the subject of magic. Not once did it occur to me that I couldn't be a magician. Not once did I entertain a thought in my mind, I couldn't do this because I came from a Caribbean background. The House of Magic has many rooms for the most dedicated students. And for me, it was quite challenging because I didn't have any black role models that I could draw inspiration from. So this was a journey that I would have to walk on my own over several decades. And on that journey, I would meet some extraordinary human beings that would have a big impact on my life. My mentors made a big difference to me. One in particular was a gentleman named Alan Allen. He said to me when I was 13, "Michael, master the craft, and your performance will render an audience colorblind. Give your audience credit for having an intelligence at least equal to yours. And their perception of you can be transformed if you conduct yourself as an artist." This blew my mind, and so began my journey, ladies and gentlemen. And another great magician was Slydini. He impressed upon me that magic can happen in only one place, and that is in the mind of the audience. Now let's break this down for just a second. There's a strange paradox at work. Do you realize there's no such thing as real magic? And yet still, the emotion of astonishment is a real phenomenon. In fact, it's very much a part of our DNA. I'd like you to consider, when was the last time you had an experience that literally took your breath away? Right there, in that experience, you get confronted by your own perception of magic and the feelings happening inside your body. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the dichotomy at work is a war between the intellect and the emotions. We know that magic doesn't exist, but yet still, we can have the feeling in our body that it does. To me, this is a beautiful thing, and without it, I can't do my job. Without you, there's no magic. So can you see, there's a collaboration at work, a collaboration between me and you, and together we create magic. This, to me, is extraordinary. And the conversation becomes not about the magician. When you come and see a magic show, is it to be entertained? Possibly. Do you look to see how the tricks are done? Perhaps. Do you want to be fooled? That's a given. And when you are fooled by a magic trick, consider for a moment in that space of not knowing how the trick is done, or just the space of not knowing or having the answer to a specific question. In that space, it makes available the possibility of a new creative thought, a new creation. This to me is quite extraordinary. And I would like to put this to the test right now, and I need you to trust me in this example, okay? If you trust me, I'll take you on a little journey into Wonderland. And inside of this, we can explore the dynamics of rapport, conversation, and all of this lies at the heart of perception, deception, and most importantly, conversation in the spirit of equality. So I'd like to invite my friend to join me up on stage. Come on up, sir. Very good, thank you. Very nice to meet you. What's your first name, sir?
Anthony.
Ashley. Is this the first time you've experienced magic this close?
Yeah.
All right, this will be very interesting for us. All right, I've come prepared. Tell me something. Would you describe yourself as a highly observant individual?
Yes.
Excellent. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to put this to the test right now. Okay. Also, ladies and gentlemen, notice the spatial distance between us because this is going to happen at arm's length. So when you leave here tonight, you can say, this happened right at the fingertips. Are you ready?
Yes.
Can you go like this for me? Okay, very good. Just bring your hands slightly lower. Tilt your hands slightly. Don't move. Are you ready, everyone? Audience in the middle? On my right? Ashley? Just hold that for me. Without looking, what card are you holding?
I saw it slightly.
What card are you holding?
Ace of spades or
It's
clubs.
interesting. They get their clubs and spades mixed up. See, this is the first part of the perception we were speaking about. Right now, there's confusion in the space. You're not sure. I'm going to ask you to double check. What card are you holding?
Ace of clubs.
Excellent. Now we have conviction. Have you noticed, with perception, if there's confusion, it's important to double check and to reevaluate the situation. This is important. When we don't know something, give yourself time to analyze, fine-tune the conversation so we've got clarity, correct? Mm-hmm. Do you realize I'd have to be a pretty cool magician to get that card to transform in your hand right now? Yeah?
Yes.
And I can. Are you ready? I'm going to have to cheat slightly. It's allowed. I'm going to have to use the other black ace, the ace of spades. And also, between Ashley's fingertips, there's a tiny little gap where I can put my ace of spades in and take out your ace of clubs, which is cheating if you think about it. But look, if I move them around now, look how it's easy to switch one for the other. Mind you, that's cheating, isn't it? Tell me something. Let's just raise the stakes slightly. For £100, which one would you say is on top, spades or clubs?
Ace of clubs.
Ace of clubs?
Yeah.
Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, have you noticed I've been talking a lot? You probably missed when all the black aces end up in my pocket. Now, this raises a very interesting question. Show them. Thank you so much for your support, okay?
No worries, thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. I'd like you to consider for a moment that experience between Ashley and myself would not have been possible without his willingness to engage in a conversation with me. As an experience for all of you, if you weren't willing to engage and to participate in this dialogue, you would not have enjoyed his expression. So, it's my belief I cannot do my show without you. I'm really grateful for all the audiences I've had the privilege to entertain around the world. And I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts to consider. The next time you see a magician, any magician, assuming that they're competent and effective, let's take for granted as a done given, they're going to fool you. You know this is going to happen. And it's okay. This is a natural functioning of the mind. It's also a natural function of the mind to try and work out how the tricks are done. We magicians have had to accept this. Now, there's another side to the conversation which is yet to be explored. If the emotion of astonishment is real, perhaps the magician has the golden key that can unlock the door, open it slightly for you to take a peek into a whole new world of communication, conversation, because in the space of wonder and astonishment, that is where new creative thought lives and exists. That's where our hearts beat for something more than the norm that we currently exist on a day-to-day basis. In that space of astonishment, anything is possible. And for me as an artist, with you as an audience, the relationship that we've enjoyed today, that we've shared, it's an opportunity to allow you to come into my world. And if you trust me enough, you'll allow me into your world so that we can give each other a gift. And what is that gift, ladies and gentlemen? I believe, is the opportunity to see and know each other for who we really are. And for me, that's the real magic. Thank you very much. Thank you.